I cut it out, but at the beginning of this video, she included her cameo commercial that she has. I find that kind of tacky, Chantal, considering the subject matter of this video and you're trying to be serious, lol, that you would still try to pimp yourself on this video. Tacky, disgusting.
This video I call Telling Off Haters in My ASMR Voice. So I hope you enjoy this video. Please give it a thumbs up and let's get into it, shall we? All right, so
That jaundice, look at the mouth. I'm gonna zoom in. Chantal, that jaundice is coming in so nicely around your mouth.
You know, somebody who has an online presence and is well known would just ignore certain...
First of all, you are not well known. If I, like I said this before, if I went out on the street and had a picture of you and gave it to somebody, they wouldn't know who the hell you are. You are not well known. You are well known in your own head, Chantal. Nobody knows who you are. Get over yourself.
Criticisms. Now the thing is the community of reactors and critics and haters that orbit myself, my being, are...
Well, you have your own gravitational pull, so yes, we are in that orbit.
Dumber, more ignorant, and more petty than most. They're not normal reactors. They're not normal tea channels because they create tea when there is none. But there is...
We don't create tea. We just call you out on your BS, Chantal.
Something that I see going around that I just want to correct and school people on, because there's a lot of ignorance when it comes to eating disorders.
Okay.
So I want to first say...
The only ignorance when it comes to eating disorders is the garbage that you spew, Chantal.
That people are picking apart my mukbangs. They claim to hate them. They don't like them. They can't stand the noises.
If you go to your comment section, Chantal, it's your own subscribers, your paying subs. Those are the ones that are complaining about the videos. They don't like the noises. They don't like them at all. It's not the reaction channels. I mean, yes, we don't like the noises. We think it's horrifying. But pay attention to your own subs.
Whatever. So now the tea on the mukbangs is that apparently every mukbang I do is massive and a binge.
It is.
Which most of them are neither. So let me explain.
I see what she's trying to do. So obviously, you're scared because you're violating YouTube with your content, Chantal. Has somebody been reporting you? I wonder who.
I will use the KFC mukbang as an example. Now, the KFC mukbang...
Now, everybody knows damn well that you probably have backup KFC under that table. Don't get it twisted.
I just recently did today is neither a binge, and it is...
It's 100% a binge.
It's also not massive.
It is massive.
I will show you an example of a massive KFC binge right here.
This is a professional eater. Now, Chantal, like, out of all the people that you could have posted a pic of, you're so uneducated in the subject. You just Google, you know what you probably did? You probably Googled large KFC meal, and this model, literally she was a model, was the first one that popped up. You didn't do any research on it, and you said, hey, I'll just go with this one, because you're lazy and don't do the work to put any type of research into anything.
Okay, as you can see, there are a couple of buckets of chicken. There is just a whole lot of food there, okay? And if you compare with my mukbang, I have 2 chicken wraps, which are large. Yes, I do comment that in my video. And I have
That's a lot of food. For one person, that is a lot of food, Chantal. You can say it's not a binge. You could call it whatever you want. That is a large amount of food for one person. And considering you're not a professional, person that a professional eater, like the ones that do the hot dog eating contest or whatever the case might be, those people specifically train to eat that way. They fast for days before, they fast after the event. They literally train like an athlete, Chantal. That's something that you do not do.
one, it's actually an individual size of cheese fries because you can actually get smaller size or family size, as you can see pictured here. Yes, I come with receipts. Now,
Receipts. What, the menu? That's your receipt? Get out.
I don't think anyone would accuse this mukbanger of having a binge here on KFC.
She's not a mukbanger. She's a professional eater, aka an athlete, Chantal, in that field. You are so dense. It's unbelievable.
Because they're thin. So, there's the stigma right there, just because I'm overweight, that anything I eat that is not healthy, and I will acknowledge that the food I eat in mukbangs a lot of the time are not healthy. I use my mukbang as a means to eat things that most people think I shouldn't eat,
What
and
does that even
to eat
mean?
things that are just not really obviously healthy. So the thing is,
She's clearly making this up as she goes and lying. I mean, you don't even have to be a body expert, a body analysis, I believe that's what it's called. I don't know the correct term for it. To know that she's lying by the way she's moving her head, her eyeballs, the pausing. It's all lies. She's making it up.
you're right. That probably isn't a binge for her. Just because somebody is eating large quantities of food in one sitting does not mean that it is considered a binge in terms of
But for somebody like you, who I don't know if you've been professionally diagnosed. I have no idea. But for somebody that claims to have a binge eating disorder, food addiction, what do you think people are going to think about the amount of food you're eating, Chantal? Do you think that people are going to think that that's a normal and healthy thing for you to do?
binge eating disorder. So I've explained this many times, but again, the community of reactors or haters or whatever, they are like talking to a brick wall. And once they've made up their mind about something about your life, they're always right and you're always wrong, no matter what you do. Even if you prove yourself,
You've never proven yourself, and unlike you, we actually come with receipts, and the receipts are your own videos of you doing and saying things, and we clap back at you.
so I'm removing the lid of a new pot so that my cat can sit inside and I can take cute pictures. And yeah,
Figures disgusting.
yeah. So I'm always wrong, and everyone knows best. Everyone's an expert in this and that. They know more about your life, how you feel, than you do your own. Isn't that something? That's
You know, the thing is, Chantal, I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything about your life, but I think reaction channels, including myself, know probably a little too much about your life because of the things that you post. We wouldn't even know a majority of the things if you hadn't posted them yourselves. So blame yourself for that, Chantal.
the true phenomenon right there. Now, I want to school you a little bit on what a binge is for me. And binge eating disorder is very personal, and each individual would probably define what they consider a binge a little different and from the next person. I would say that there are some.
I would agree with her on that statement as somebody who has suffered from bulimia for quite a few years. It is, I agree. It's different for each individual, but there are certain things that people with eating disorders have in common, specifically like triggers and things like that. We have those in common.
Base foundations that if you look up binge eating disorder, that certain organizations will tell you, these are the signs, the symptoms, things like that. That could be included. Just kind of like when everyone has a flu, not everyone has diarrhea, not everyone has the same symptoms. So basically, for me, and I told the doctor I've seen about this.
What doctor?
Just a reminder, I have been to a outpatient center for eating disorders
That's
in
a
Ottawa when I
lie.
lived there in Canada. Before that, I've seen a few therapists for a few sessions, quite a few sessions.
Lying.
I've been to inpatient therapy growing up as a teenager.
That's a lie. That's a lie. And this is Chantal. Why do you come on here and do this to yourself? This all can be proven with your own videos because you've discussed this prior. So now all of a sudden you're going to rewrite it and say that you were in a teenage home for binge eating disorder. That's not the true story, Chantal. Why do you do this? This is why I find you dangerous, especially to impressionable people.
And
You've
yada,
you've
yada, yada.
you've never sought out treatment for anything. You maybe have gone to the first initial visit when you do the questionnaires or whatever. You've probably done that multiple times, but you've never followed up. You've never continually gone to treatment. The only time I believe that you were in treatment long going is when your mother put you in the home. I think that's the only time. Other than that, no. And this is from your own post, your own video evidence, the things that you've talked about yourself.
So I've read books on binge eating, brain over binge,
That's
the
her
binge
treatment
code,
right there.
intuitive eating books.
Please.
I've downloaded countless.
Her treatment consists of reading books, WebMD, Wikipedia, and apps that you can get on your Samsung in the shop. That's what her treatment is.
Calorie counting apps, and I've tried many diets. But for me, a binge, when I enter binge mode, we'll call it, it's not just about how much food I'm eating. And I can tell you right now, you're not going to see me.
It's not about the food. It's about an emotional issue with you, Chantal. There's something with the food in your brain that is not connected right, where you're fulfilling a need emotionally for yourself. That's why you do that.
Actually have a binge on, in terms of binge eating disorder, which is when I binge eat, on camera. There's a big difference between overeating and binge eating. And the difference is a very psychological one more than physical.
Please.
And it's psychological triggers that cause the physical binge eating.
100%.
And
what
in a mukbang,
and see, this is the thing. She's trying to bullshit her audience right now with this. She is trying to basically say one thing doesn't mean the other, and that's not the case.
it's planned, it's calculated.
Please.
It's done. There's a mean to it. There's a reason for it.
So you're telling me all these videos, and there's multiple of them, Chantal, that you've posted yourself, when you come on there with your whatever crap food that you're eating, and you say you felt like eating this today. It could be like 1 o'clock in the morning. I felt like eating this today. You're telling me and everybody else that these are planned and calculated mukbangs. Get the fuck out.
Mukbang is a huge thing on the internet.
Please.
I'm not the only one. I'm not the only overweight one to do it. And I'm also not the only overweight one with health problems to do it as well.
So, okay.
A lot of people don't talk.
So just because you're not the only one with health issues and obese and whatnot, that it's okay for you to do it too, Chantal? That's why you're dangerous.
talk about their personal lives. Usually mukbangers don't, a lot of them. So I understand the reception for that. People are concerned because I do talk a lot about my health problems. People know I have binge eating disorder. They know I have diabetes. But what you don't know on a daily basis is other things that I eat throughout the
My
day.
God.
You don't know how
She
often
sounds
I
like Amber
actually do
Lynn.
binge eat. And
So what are you saying, Chantal? You're saying that it's okay for you to binge eat, to have this ginormous binge meal because I'm going to eat a salad later. Is that what you're saying? Because you have the binge and you eat healthy later, it's okay for you to binge. Is that what you're trying to say? This is what I'm talking about. This is what makes you dangerous because somebody out there that doesn't have access to doctors or treatment or whatnot is going to listen to you and think that's okay for them to do.
you don't know whether allowing myself to eat these foods actually does help or not with the actual binge eating. So I want to say that for me, a binge is, binge eating disorder is a psychiatric disorder. That's why when I went for outpatient treatment, I was, seen by a psychiatrist. I was put on Vyvanse. I was, went through the rigmarole, and yeah. So I mean, it obviously didn't cure me, but it's
She's such a liar.
I felt like the doctor didn't have as much experience with binge eating as they do with other eating disorders. And that's because, again, if you have an eating disorder and you're obese and it shows, people just assume that you just overeat and you're just a pig. Basically, that's exactly how it goes.
So is that what you're saying the doctors said to you? I find that highly offensive to doctors who are good in this field. Like I said, there's no way. I don't think that actually happened to you. I don't think you've actually sought out treatment for this. I think this is a bunch of BS.
They don't think that you have disordered eating. And I'm here to tell you that regardless of what you think, it doesn't mean that you know. Okay, there's a big
Okay, if you a known pathological liar, if you go into the doctor's office and leave out specific information, of course they're not going to diagnose you with that, Chantal. You're the type of patient that goes into the doctor's office and doesn't tell the truth. So what do you expect a doctor to do?
difference there, and you don't know what you're talking about.
Please.
So for me, getting back to this, I go on tangents. For me, an actual binge is a psychological issue, and it's usually triggered.
Okay, so riddle me this. Since a binge is psychological for you and you've been in Kuwait for about what, 2 years now, I guess you could say, are you going to admit that Salah is putting you under an extreme amount of psychological pressure, and that is the reason why you've gained probably 250 pounds, Chantal? Is that the reason?
By different things, but it's usually just a big, overwhelming urge. I'm trying to think of how to describe it accurately. It's hard to describe.
It's not that hard to describe. For this is what I see in her. I don't know if this is how she feels, but this is just from the information that she's given over the years. And like I said, it starts with that bag of potato chips on the floor. When she is feeling out of control, when she is feeling unloved, unwanted, whatever the case might be with her, she gravitates towards food because it gives her that feeling. And her brain over the years has been wired so much that to her, that fulfills that feeling of love, that fulfills that feeling of able to control something in her life when her whole entire life is out of control. That's just the opinion that I have of her, as somebody who has had an eating disorder. My eating disorder for me started when I was 16, and the boyfriend that I had then would comment, "Oh, my thighs are getting thick," or he would make pig noises when I would eat. That's when it started for me. And then it got re-triggered again in my early 20s when my husband cheated on me right after I had my first child. It got re-triggered again. So for me, it's about how my body weight and looks affected the guy that I was with at the time. Like it was really a messed up. I put too much emphasis in my life at that time on my appearance on the men and what the men thought of me, and I put too much emphasis on that. And what I ended up doing, it was really working on myself and figuring out that I was truly valuable and I didn't need a man's opinion of me or how I look to validate myself. I was able to do that for myself. But yeah, that was just my experience. I don't know if
It's
I
a
explained
feeling.
that
It's
right,
like
but
a
yeah.
overwhelming feeling, and it's not something I would want to see myself do, and it's not something I would want to show people.
You've
Throughout my whole life, I've had
you've
this. I
shown it
used to
multiple times.
sneak food, hide it in my bedroom. When I was living in a group home, I used to steal food from the fridge,
That's a
bring it up to
lie.
my bedroom like a big block.
That's a lie, and somebody's going to post a video where you talk about this. You were actually taking food from a girl that you were roommates with that was an anorexic girl, and her family used to bring her food. I think it was candy too, as well. And she wouldn't eat it, and you would ask her for it, and she would give it to you. That's what you used to do. Disgusting, Chantal. If that's true, I don't know. That seems like, what was that one movie with Winona Ryder and Angelina Jolie? Girl Interrupted. I don't know. That kind of seems like a scene from that movie with the chickens. I don't know.
Some cheese and bread and whatever. So I binge in secret. It's something that I hide. I mean, I've told you guys the
You
stories
don't
about the
hide it.
pizza
You do it
boxes in
on
my
camera.
closet when I used to live with BB. So it's like,
And it doesn't matter. You know what? She could say this bullshit that she's saying right now, that she doesn't do it in camera. She does it in secret. No, she doesn't. She's done this all on camera. We've seen it. We've seen her baked out of her mind doing it. We've seen her not non-baked doing it. Like, whatever. She's trying to deflect from what's going on. So somebody's obviously reporting her.
I do it in secret. I
No,
don't
you
do it as a
don't.
mukbang.
That's a lie.
If I've ever,
And
I
then
think I've
another
shown
thing, you don't do it in secret. And let's just say you do, Chantal. Let's just say you do this in secret. Your binges in secret. Okay, you're still coming on camera, eating a large amount of food. What is not normal for a regular person to eat? It's a large amount of food. Anyway, any way you want to say it's not, it's a large amount of food. That's like an alcoholic that shouldn't be drinking, having that one beer is, oh, it's okay, it's only one beer. But you're not supposed to be drinking at all. That's basically what you're doing. Or a drug addict. It's not a lot of heroin. I'll just take that one hit of heroin. It's okay. Same thing. You shouldn't be doing it.
maybe a couple of binges as more of a vlog or like an educational thing to show you, to be transparent and show you what it's like for me. I may not even have, I don't remember that far back about what I did
Please.
with the video,
You've
if I did a
never
video
done
like
that.
that. But for a
Get out of
mukbang,
here.
no,
You're such a
it's not
liar.
like that. A mukbang is a mukbang. So even if you see this,
First of all, you've never made an educational video in your life, Chantal, and especially an educated video that's geared towards eating disorder, mukbang, whatever you want to call it. You've never done that. The reaction channels are going to tear you a new one with this BS.
lady here with this huge mukbang, it's probably still not a binge. I mean, I don't know her life,
Professional
but
eater.
just because there's lots of food doesn't mean that it's a binge. Okay.
Wow.
So anyway, I would just get massive quantities of food when I'm alone, when I'm
That's such BS.
feeling a particular way. Sometimes you just feel the binge urge come on, and I don't really know how to describe it other than that.
The binge urge for you, Chantal, is clearly because you're alone. You are alone. You are bored. You feel unloved. That's the urges that you're getting. So it's like an empty hole within your soul there in Kuwait. And the only way to fill that hole literally is with food. And that's what you do. That's exactly what you do.
and it's very hard to control. It's very hard to fight. I mean, if it wasn't, there wouldn't be
Please.
anyone with this disorder, right? It's notorious for being hard to fight, you know?
First of all, it's not notorious for being hard to fight. There are some people that are successful at conquering their eating disorder, but it takes work, and you need to work to rewire your brain on how you look at food and what role food plays in your life. That's what you need to do. You refuse to do any of that.
So, for example, like if I was alone
If
previously,
you're alone all the
I
time
would just
now.
start eating anything I could grab. Like sometimes I would even just eat like anything, literally. Like I one time ate relish, like because there was dill relish in the fridge.
Relish, relish. Here we go with the relish. Are you gonna start yelling colonizer, Chantal? You hate white people, all that Cuba rage crap. It's funny how you bring up relish. There's countless videos, Chantal, of you binging on camera eating what is it, the jet puffed, I don't know, what is it, the marshmallow cream with hundreds of candy, not hundreds but a few candy bars. There's videos of you eating mozzarella sticks and jars of pasta sauce. There's videos of you eating cheese and salad dressing. There's videos of you drinking gravy. There's videos of you drinking the salad dressing. There's videos of you with those lakmas that look like literal crap all over your face. There's hundreds of videos of you literally binging on camera, Chantal. Not ASMR videos, not educational videos, not mukbang videos, but you binging on camera. You pimping your eating disorder, your food addiction, whatever you want to call it, pimping it for money on YouTube.
And that was the last thing I could binge on. Like 3 to 4 packets of noodles, of ramen, 5 little bags of chips, a whole tray of cheese, a whole block of cheese.
This is your
Just
normal behavior.
mindlessly autopilot, just not even thinking about it. And then after,
We've seen all of this on video. So these are not occurrences, Chantal, that have happened in secret off camera. There's literally video, hours and hours of video that you have posted yourself of you doing this behavior. So make that make sense.
you binge eat, you have this more psychological side effect of just this overwhelming feeling of guilt and like shame
Please, you don't feel
and
guilt.
just icky.
You are literally reading something online and you're just probably repeating it verbatim, Chantal. I seriously doubt that you feel icky after you're binging or whatever it is that you do because you really haven't recognized your eating disorder. You really haven't accepted it. You're trying to change the narrative here and there's too much evidence on you as far as your eating behavior where you can't do that. This is I don't even know why you're doing this. Well, I do know why because somebody is obviously reporting you. I don't know who, but yeah.
You
Wow.
know, you cringe at yourself
Unbelievable.
and you're like, you feel defeated. It's this
Please.
overwhelming feeling of defeat and hopelessness, and that you don't have control over your own self.
I don't know. I've if you've noticed if you watch her eating videos, I don't know if you've ever picked this up. At the end of her videos, it almost looks like she just had an orgasm. Like the look on her face is like this release. Like after she ate all of the food, it's like she literally had this physical orgasm release of the satisfaction of having that food. So I don't buy this excuse where I feel icky, I feel ashamed after the fact. Bullshit.
And you don't understand it. You don't understand it.
I
And
understand it.
it's a totally different, dark feeling. It's a dark.
And like I'm gonna say this again. I don't hate you, Chantal. I don't know how many times I have to say it. I don't hate anybody, but I'm saying this as somebody who's had treatment for this. I'm saying this as somebody who's had an eating disorder. So I know from my experience what I'm talking about. Yeah, you're full of crap.
Place. and it's not my mukbangs at all.
Please.
My mukbangs are planned. They
That's
are
bullshit. They're planned when you come on camera and say, "Oh, I felt like eating this at 1 o'clock in the morning." That's a planned mukbang. Get out,
mostly calculated, mostly.
please.
Sometimes no, but
See,
trying to do.
that's the thing. The ones that have the professional ASMR mukbang channels, you can tell. And I posted one on my community page. You can tell that they put the work and the effort into whatever they're eating, their mukbangs. They always have themes, colored themes, food themes, character themes. They have all kinds of stuff that they do. Chantal has done none of this in any of her videos. None of it. So she's full of crap.
Better with that. They have a purpose, and they're not the same at all.
Please.
If I overly
They have a
restrict
purpose. What's
myself,
the purpose?
it's a disaster, for binge eating. My life needs to be more structured and everything like that. Yes, I know that.
See, and like I said that earlier, she has binges because her life is out of control. And the one thing that she can control in her life is the food and the food that she puts in her mouth. So when she does that, it gives her that feeling of some type of control in her life.
But I have a million problems, but binge eating in a mukbang is not one of them.
Yes,
and,
it is.
For it to be called a binge is very misleading.
That's actually your main problem, and it's the catalyst for all your other problems in your life, Chantal. And once you recognize that, then you might see the light. But until then, you're going to keep spiraling out of control.
People, and it's wrong. It's false information. It's complete bullshit. And
No, what
my
you're
KFC
spewing is
mukbang was
bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Wow. I don't know if it's a camera angle or what, but I don't know if people don't watch my mukbangs till the end either, because I didn't finish the food. I
Please.
had one of the wraps.
That's
I had
that's the one thing I'll say that's been, as far as calculation with her on her part. Some of the videos lately, she hasn't been finishing the food on camera, but that doesn't mean you didn't finish it off camera, Chantal. Who are you fooling? Come on,
a few bites of the second one,
please.
and I didn't even finish the cheese fries. So
Bullshit.
I really don't know where that was massive. I mean, comment below if you can eat a whole wrap and half of cheese fries.
I can eat a whole wrap, but I've never in my life, I don't even, because I don't go to KFC like that. I don't even know if that's a menu item here in California. I haven't seen a commercial for it, so I don't know. But that wrap was huge. It was like a big hoagie, like a foot-long sandwich or whatever. That was huge, Chantal. And then you had two of them, plus those limp, disgusting-looking fries. That is a lot of food for one person.
I really, really just think it's just complete BS and stupid and misinformation, and it's false.
It's not misinformation. It just shows how messed up your brain is, that you think for a woman of your stature, what are you, like 5'1", I think? That you would think that that amount of food is normal for somebody of your size. Let's just say she was a normal weight. If Chantal was a normal weight at her height, that would be a normal amount of food for you to eat. That shows your brain is messed up.
And it's a desperate attempt at content, and it's really just at this point, these people are just like dingleberries, and they just don't fall off, and they need to be dropped into the toilet and flushed away, because that's where you belong. And
That's never gonna happen.
Your content is crap. It's desperate, and
First of all, I don't think any of the reaction channels, their content is crap. It's, people, I actually like it because it's people from different, parts of the world, different life experiences, male, female, non-binary, whatever the case might be, who's ever hosting that channel. It's a bunch of different opinions, from their experience or whatever. And the funny thing about it is, Chantal, is that if you get all of us together, none of us, I would say a majority of us, don't even know each other. But we all basically have the same opinion of you, Chantal. Don't you find that odd, Chantal? All of us can't be wrong.
I have every right to do mukbangs and eat just like everyone else.
No, you
even if I
don't.
have
Not if you have an eating
diabetes,
disorder.
Even if I have binge eating disorder because
You don't have the right to do it, especially on a public platform when you have children in your live streams, giving bad advice, showing this type of behavior like it's okay for somebody that has diabetes, that weighs 500 pounds, to behaving in this manner. It's dangerous. And I'm going to keep saying it. You are a danger to yourself and you are a danger to impressionable people.
none of you are doctors and none of you
How
are
do you
know
know?
how to are experts on an eating
How do
disorder.
you know?
And I'm sure if you were, you wouldn't be in Gore World. You probably have a life and an education.
I actually do have a life. I actually do have an education. This isn't the main part of my life. I do this like as a side thing, because I enjoy creating music. I enjoy editing photos. Enjoy things like that. So yeah, I do have a life. And as well as everybody else, they also have lives.
But so
You're the only one
yeah,
that doesn't have a
this is
life.
why I decided to keep my personal life offline because,
Please.
it's, I mean, despite the most
The only reason why your personal life is really not the topic of conversation as far as what you post is because you are trying to run an immigration scam with your fake husband Salah. You are trying to get him into North America illegally. That's why your personal life is not on topic.
bongs, my blood sugars are still the same. They're more than cut in half than what they
Please.
were. They've gone from 24 mmol down to 11, and that's on the higher side. Sometimes they're 8, sometimes they're 9, sometimes they're 10.
Okay, and I've said this before in a video. My husband's diabetic. We went through this like years ago with the metformin thing. Chantal, you are going to be put on insulin. Like I said, when you first started that medication, they're going to give that to you to see where you level out at. If you would have leveled out normally, which is a 6 or below, they probably would have kept you on that or even maybe taken you off. But since you are leveling out at an 11 and you are on probably one of the highest doses I think you can take of that drug, it's not working and it won't work. You leveled out. You are going to be put on insulin.
But not usually higher than 11. And which is a big improvement, and I still have time to get it down even more.
Please. Not the way you're eating.
You don't see the little efforts I do throughout the day
Little efforts.
and stuff like that. So you don't know. But because you don't know,
It doesn't matter what little efforts you're doing during the day. If you're sitting there eating KFC, Jollibee, I don't even know what else, a Subway, all this crap food, it doesn't matter what little efforts you're doing during the day, Chantal. It doesn't cancel out the crap that you've eaten. You are so like mental in your way of thinking. It's unbelievable.
anyway, that's what I wanted to basically rant about is just all of the misinformation. Nobody
You're
makes an
giving
educated video
misinformation.
whatsoever on actual.
I'm so like irritated right now. Like she's even saying that the misinformation. Chantal, you are the one that is giving misinformation. It's you. It's none of us. It's you, Chantal.
Accurate information. So I'm telling you from, having this my whole life, what a binge is for me. And honestly, no strangers on the internet have the right to tell me what a binge is. None. When it comes to my eating disorder, that's exactly.
What are you? My eating disorder. Where's your eating disorder? I mean, literally. Come on. Are you serious, Chantal? Are you like? I don't even know what to say. Well, yes, and I'm going to say it again. Everybody's eating disorder might be specific on what they do or how they eat or whatever, but what we have in common is specific triggers for said eating disorder, Chantal. So I think people with eating disorders, including myself, have the right to make comments on the subject, especially when you're out here with misinformation and you have minors in your live streams, in your community page, everywhere on your channel. You are dangerous.
The bottom line, and it's just BS. So, anyway, The worst thing is a lot of people criticizing what I eat. If they had the gall and the nerve to show themselves and their life,
Why do
they
we?
eat the same thing. I mean, you're gonna tell
I don't eat the same. I don't. When's the last time I had KFC? Years probably. No, I don't eat the same thing. And the only reason why you have this constant need to have me or other reactors show themselves is because you want to look at us and find something to pick apart, whether it be our eyebrows, you've done that, your eyes, your skin, your hair, clothing, maybe even the size of somebody. You just, because you're so infantile in the way you look at people, that's the only thing you could do is just cut somebody down in their looks. That's all you can do, Chantal. That's why you want people to show themselves. It's so stupid.
you never eat a dish of fries with one wrap.
I eat
That's
fries.
massive.
Yeah, I'll eat fries, but I've never seen a wrap of that size in my life ever. I would eat fries in a wrap, sure, why not? But not a wrap that big. Hell no.
Okay. I know people don't agree with my eating style, but I'm not ever going to be one to, and I've decided this after trying these diets, after just failing after fad diet.
And that's the one thing. A diets do not work. Anybody who's out there trying to do a diet, that's not going to work. Diets do not work. What you have to do is change the way you look at food, and the way you eat food. Food is fuel for your body. It's not for enjoyment. That's where Chantal is, part of her brain issue with the food is she needs to rewire her brain. Diets will never work for Chantal. Chantal, you need to look at food completely different.
Fad diet. I'm not ever going to completely cut carbs. I'm not ever going to
Please.
fully completely cut junk food and go vegetarian, keto, carnivore. I'm not going to do it. So
That's fine. People, like, if anybody's out there listening to her, don't listen to her. You don't have to cut carbs. I mean, you're diabetic, you probably should, Chantal. For somebody, let me rephrase that. For somebody with Chantal's health problems, yeah, you probably should cut those type of things because, to help the diabetes. But if you're like a normal person that doesn't have any health issues or whatever, no, you don't have to cut carbs. You don't have to cut fat. The difference is how the quantity that you eat of them. You can include them in your diet, but just healthy amounts, not like huge amounts of stuff like Chantal does.
I don't know how many mukbang videos or how many things you're going to see me eat that you have to keep bitching about, but it's just it's beating a dead horse at this point. I mean, I don't know. I guess it sells.
It doesn't sell. It doesn't sell. It makes, what's sad about this is I'm sure there are some of her subs that actually, are invested in her, that actually care about her and don't want to see her do this. I mean, me, like I said, I don't hate her. It's hard for me to watch her do this because it's literally like she's unaliving herself on camera. That's what it looks like. Like she's given up and she's just going to do what she wants to do. It's hard to watch. The only reason why I continue to do it, maybe it's like the mother in me, maybe it's just my personality. I don't know. When I see somebody that's going to run into a oncoming train, it's like I try to do everything to stop. That's like kind of the way that I see it. I might poke at her, like make fun here and there, but she gets my humor. But yeah, it's a hard thing to watch. And what's even harder, like I said, is there's children that are watching her that will learn and think this behavior is okay. It's so disturbing to me.
But I was just coming here to tell you that you're not right about my videos. They're not a binge, and
They
a lot
are.
of them are not massive.
They are.
A lot of the time, I don't even finish my food. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
It's really weird. I just had the thought. You know how people have that body dysmorphia disorder? It's almost as if she has like a food dysmorphia disorder where it's like actually a large amount of food, but to her, it doesn't seem like a large amount. It's so weird.
But there are mukbangers who eat way more. People bigger, people my size, people thinner.
You know who I think she's
And you
comparing
don't know.
herself to?
Maybe
I'm wondering if she's trying to compare herself to Nikocado Avocado, whatever his name is, and the way that he eats and stuff like that. I wonder if that's like the comparison she might be using as far as like doing like a binge eating, because the way he eats is almost like as if somebody's binging. I wonder if that's what she's comparing it to.
those people who are thin have binge eating disorder,
No,
but they don't gain weight for
no,
whatever reason.
they don't gain weight because they train to do this. If you actually look into people that do food eating contests professionally, there's a way that they train. I forgot, there's a term for what they do because they fast for days before the meal and then they fast for days. It's like something with the stomach. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, they actually train for this. So that's why a lot of them are skinny. Yeah, Chantal, why don't you educate yourself before you open your mouth?
Maybe they purge, maybe they just work out a lot. That's a form
Some of
of
them might purge. I don't
restricting is
know.
excessive exercise.
Some of them might purge. I have no idea. But the example that you gave in here, the model with the Kentucky Fried Chicken, that is a professional eater. She does that. So that's the example that you gave, Chantal. Is that what you? So I mean, what do you want me to say? Get
But
a
you don't
better
know.
example.
So why speak about something serious like that you don't know about?
You are.
People who are thin and have binge eating disorder would not be criticized that way. You know, it's
See, and that's the one thing that really irritates me about her and Amber Lynn Reed is they're stuck on this thing as like it's part of that fat positivity bullshit where they think that they're being treated a specific way because they're fat. I mean, there might be specific cases where somebody, yeah, I'm sure they get treated like crap. But in general, here on YouTube, I don't think that's the case. I think people don't like you or Amber Lynn because of the lying and the behavior that you guys exhibit. It has nothing to do with your size. It's just you as a person.
it's very unhealthy for them too. It's not healthy. It's not a healthy thing to have that disorder, big or small. So anyway, I don't care. I think what you
Obviously.
want, but
So
the mis
if you don't care and think what you want, why are you even making this video? Obviously, you do care, Chantal. You care about how YouTube is seeing you for some reason at this point. I wonder why.
information is just out of this world. So I wanted to come on here and correct that and just let you know personally what a binge is for me in regards to binge eating disorder, and also just call you out, call those of you who are, oh my gosh, that's a massive portion. I could feed my family of 8. Well, then you need to have your family, given to someone else because you're underfeeding them.
Wow.
If your family of 8 can eat one wrap, you have something wrong with you. Anyway.
First of all, I find that statement truly disgusting while you sit there in Kuwait in hijab proclaiming to be Muslim, saying that knowing and you whatever you're done with your little fake protest that you did for the people of Palestine, knowing that there's people starving over there, there's people starving in Yemen, there's people starving in certain countries that are really surrounding you in Kuwait, and you're going to literally make a statement like that. That shows how disgusting, how shallow you truly are. And that's yet another example of why people don't like you, Chantal.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm done with my bitchy video. And thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
That was, I don't even know what she was trying to do with that. But, anyways, Chantal, don't give advice about eating disorders, especially because you haven't had treatment. Just disturbing. Besides that, I just wanted to say the things that I say about myself, as far as if I ever talk about the eating disorder that I had, or experiences with abuse or rape, anything like that, I share these things not to trauma dump on people. I share these things just so that maybe if there's anybody out there that is suffering through something like that, that you don't feel so alone, and that yeah, just so that you just don't feel so that's all I have to say, so you just don't feel so alone, because I know sometimes when you're going through things like that, it can be a very lonely and dark place. Just know that you're not alone, and there's people out there that truly care, and there are people that will listen, and there are people that will help you. So that's it, that's all I gotta say. I'll see you when I see you guys. Bye.